At this point, folks, I'm just glad that we can make it to Wednesday. So if you are here, welcome to the Danielle Moodie Show. I feel so fucking exhausted today. Like my brain is just rattling with all of the chaos, the confusion, all that we know is purposeful. And even though we know that this is part of Donald Trump and Elon Musk's strategy, right, to flood the zone with shit, it doesn't stop the exhaustion from having to swim through it. Even if you try and put your phones on don't disturb or stop the notifications, if you're trying to go to Instagram to see a picture of a puppy or a fucking kitten, some way, somehow, these motherfuckers are invading our lives, whether we want it or not. And so, you know what? There is so much to cover today because, apparently we live 87 weeks by the time we reach Wednesday. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Danielle Moodie Show. When I was putting today's show together, I was like, where does one begin? Where does one begin when we have a week where it is very clear that Donald Trump plans on running the American government like an episode of Sopranos? We have a shakedown happening in Ukraine. We have some type of $5 million card in order to get citizenship. We have Elon Musk attending the first cabinet's meeting, except he's not a cabinet member. We have all of the shit show that has happened in corporate and mainstream media. If you have not seen it already, folks, I put up a video earlier today that you can check out that asks, pretty much like free speech is dead, right? So do check out that video. And if you are new here to the Danielle Moodie Show, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe and hit that little bell in the top corner to make sure that you put on your notifications and then you never miss a show. All right, friends, let's get into it, shall we? So the find out part of the fuck around has in fact arrived. This is images from Republican town halls that show their constituents pretty much extraordinarily pissed off. So when Congress goes into recess, usually that is a time for those members to go into their districts to meet with their constituents to show that they give a damn. You connect with the people, you shake some hands, you hear what are the things that we need to actually be paying attention to. Let me tell you about the latest votes and things that I'm bringing home to the state or to the district, et cetera, et cetera. Except for those Republicans that went home to their districts, they were met with angry voters. Now, you see these people right here? These are Republican voters, right? These are people who voted for Donald Trump. And now all of a sudden are finding out that Donald Trump is doing exactly what he said that he would do. They just didn't think that they were going to be affected by it, right? This is the group of people who believed that it was okay if Donald Trump was going to harm, let's say, the LGBTQ community or the Black community and get rid of those undocumented folks. They didn't think that the find out part of the fuck around was going to end up on their front door. When Donald Trump said that he was going to clear out the enemies of the state, they thought that somehow in the federal registry of civil servants, that somehow he was going to be able to identify who was a Republican and who voted for him and who didn't. Except that's not how civil service works. So now all of a sudden, what they voted for is happening, and now they're pissed. But remember when Donald Trump told them that they were never going to have to vote again, right? Because, he was going to be a dictator on day 1, day 2, and, day until he dies. This is where they find themselves. Now, I wish that I could say, well, you should have the day you voted for, right? That's one of my favorite memes going around right now. I wish you the day that you voted for. Except their fucking stupidity, their selfishness, their racism, their greed, right, in wanting to believe that other people are undeserving, right, of Medicaid, of Social Security, of all of these things that now it's coming to harm them. And I wish that I could say, I fucking told you so. Except guess what, folks? Unfortunately, we're all in the same sinking ship called America. This is what happens when you only give a fuck about yourself and you do not realize or care to understand that all of our fates here are intertwined. That actually what is good for the least fortunate of us helps all of us. But that's not the Republican mentality. The Republican mentality tells you me, 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 me. Right? The Republican mentality tells you I only care about what happens in my house, my neighborhood, with my friends and my community. I don't give a fuck about anyone else. It's why over the weekend when Jane Fonda received her Lifetime Achievement Award from SAG, it's why she said, you know what? All that being woke means is that you give a damn about other people. And so this is what happens when you only give a damn about yourself. It is extraordinary what is unfolding at these town halls. And it's only going to get worse because I'm certain that these Republicans will just not have them because they're usually met by what? Applause, or maybe just a couple of people, a couple of old folks that maybe show up at the coffee shop and they sit there and they drink their coffee and, that's it. They're not used to being met with this type of fucking energy. And I'm telling you, folks, it's only going to get worse. So after a month-long honeymoon for the GOP, and I don't know what honeymoon they are on, like the honeymoon from hell, it ain't no honeymoon for the rest of us. But after a month-long honeymoon for the GOP at the start of Trump's term, lawmakers are confronting a groundswell of fear and disaffection in districts around the country. Well, shocker. Some came with complaints about Elon Musk, Trump's billionaire ally, or as I like to say, the billionaire, who is carrying out an assault on the federal bureaucracy. Others demanded guarantees that Republicans in Congress would not raid the social safety net. Can we just take a pause? What have Republicans been saying since the beginning of time? That they wanted to what, folks? Do away with social safety nets. Meaning that they call them fucking entitlements, which Democrats have allowed them to do. This is not entitlements. This is our fucking money. That as we age, as we get older, we only get a portion back of what we've made in our lifetime. And that these quote unquote safety nets, other countries have in spades. where they have free healthcare, where they have free childcare, where they have paternal leave for 6 months or a year. That's what their tax dollars pay for. Our tax dollars go to an inflated defense bill so that Donald Trump can play G.I. Joe and get the latest and greatest fucking planes, right? And look tough. That's where our fucking money goes. It doesn't go to anything that actually builds this country up or supports the citizens of this country in any real way. And now, with Elon Musk's DOGE, everything is being cut. And my God, folks, my fucking God. Now, all of a sudden, these folks looking around and saying, oh my goodness, DOGE cuts are rattling GOP lawmakers as angry constituents flood town halls. Some Republicans are pleading with Musk and Trump to ease up on DOGE's aggressive moves as they face blowback from voters at home. Do you think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk give a fuck about your voters? You were the ones that were going to be on the line. You were the ones that were actually going to have to come face to face with the people that put you in office. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, oh, they can afford, they have the money to have distance from these people. You don't. So when Democrats told us that if Republicans got back in office, you could kiss Social Security and Medicaid and SNAP and all of these things goodbye, what did they think? They thought we were lying. They thought we were being hyperbolic. They thought that we were being snowflakes. Who's the fucking snowflake now? Because the funny thing is that when it comes to federal taxes, the blue states provide essential welfare to these broke down red states. Understand that. And so where places, right, like California and New York and other blue states may be able to bridge the gap that comes from this budget proposal that they just narrowly passed, that I'm going to talk about in a moment, that those states have the ability to potentially bridge what it is that the federal government cuts. Do you know who doesn't? Red states. Do you know where most of the people who receive SNAP and Medicaid and are surviving on Social Security live? Red states. So how is it that you choose to fuck over the very people that put you in office? But these people, folks, they thought they were special. Donald Trump's been telling you to your face what you're going to get. He told you in all of those rallies. He wasn't mincing words. You just chose not to hear it. And now all of a sudden, you're at these town halls waving around signs that say that you disagree because you don't want what happened to the woman in Idaho who was dragged out of the town hall by undetectable security in black shirts who dragged her ass across the floor like they were the Gestapo. Donald Trump does not care about your dissent. He has the job now. Now, while many Republicans would love for him to run in 2028, and well, I believe that he's never going to leave office, which is, I've said this for the last 10 fucking years. People are like, oh no, we'll just wait for midterms. Okay, sure, Jan, let's wait for midterms. Because I'm sure we'll have them, and I'm sure they'll be free and fair. I'm sure DOGE won't figure out a way to infiltrate our free and fair elections, right? I'm sure that they won't find a way to threaten state secretaries, right? I'm sure everything will be okay. Ooh, Lord. But look at their angry faces in these Republican districts. It is wild to me. And my whole thing was like, I didn't need to be a part of the find out, right? Right? Because I didn't fuck around. But now we all have to be punished. We all have to experience pain because of their desire to preserve whiteness above everything fucking else. They thought that they were going to be spared. And now they are realizing he doesn't give a fuck about you. You thought you were special. Donald Trump made you think that you were special. And you are just now realizing you're the casualty of the oligarch's war on the rest of us. And now what are you going to do? It is, we're living in wild, wild times. So, as I say, House Republicans who held town hall events in their districts last week were confronted by residents outraged over the mass layoffs and cuts to federal funding. Because as this was happening, folks, do you think that any of these members went through their districts to see how many federal workers actually lived in their districts? Do you think that any of them went through and did the numbers of how many of their constituents receive Medicaid and SNAP before last night's decision to essentially literally take food out of the mouths of the most vulnerable parts of our population in order to satisfy the fucking greed of the wealthy? Do you think any of them did any type of fucking math? Nope. I don't think that they did. So here we have arrived. The GOP's budget plan betrays the very same voters who put Trump in the White House. Republicans are focused on helping the wealthiest Americans and want to take away from the poorest to do it. I mean, why is this news? Like, am I the only one that has always been aware of what Republicans have believed? Am I the only one? I mean, I know I'm not because hundreds of you are here with me. But my God, when you all see this, do you not feel like you're being fucking gaslit? Like, didn't we all know? In one of Biden's last State of the Unions, he told the American people they are coming for our social safety nets. You know how grandma had a little bit of money, but basically Medicaid covers her time in a nursing home? Guess what? I hope that you own a home or live in a house because now grandma isn't going to be receiving the Medicaid that she needs. That's the gap between the money that she had. Medicaid is the one that comes in and closes that gap. And so it's like, again, you try to tell folks. Here we go. Sorry about that. We had a disaster. I'm back. Sorry. Oops. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Are we back? Are we good? Okay. Woof. Okay. This is what happens when I'm like clicking around and I'm clicking around. Um, but I tell you, like, this is the shit that drives me insane. It's the stuff that makes me really angry because I feel like we literally, I talk about Democrats' lack of messaging and their inability to tell Americans what's up clearly. Like, they don't need big PowerPoints and big words. They just need to know, do you like food? Yes? Well, the FDA ensures that the food that you're getting from the grocery store isn't filled with salmonella and bird flu. That's it. You don't need to tell them anything complicated. COVID, we never expected that. The CDC, while they fucked up a bit during that time, make sure that if there are outbreaks that are happening in this country or around the world, that you know, so that you can keep yourself safe. And it's like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But here's Fisher Price, Speaker of the House. I don't even know why anybody would want this job, to be honest, to wrangle the Republican Party. But, you know, they all wanted to own the libs. That was their desire. We're going to own the libs. I hope that the snowflakes and the liberal tears you wanted, I hope that's satiating because everything else is fucked. So let me read this to you. House Republicans seem to be taking a cue from Musk, proposing some truly baffling budget cuts of their own. On Tuesday, the GOP-controlled House adopted a framework to fund Donald Trump's legislative agenda, putting his big, beautiful bill one step closer to becoming reality. That budget resolution was adopted despite some moderate Republicans, like, also, who are the moderate Republicans? What does that even look like? Does your Nazi salute not go completely at 90 degrees? Like, where does yours land? Anyway, raising concerns over the scope of the cuts, particularly a directive for the committee that oversees Medicaid to slash, folks, $880 billion from Medicaid over the next decade, and a proposal for $230 billion in cuts for the committee that funds food stamps. The budget also plans to extend Trump's 2017 tax breaks, which largely benefits billionaires. So this entire time that Republicans were talking about the 1% of trans people that they spent $200 million riling up their base about, who aren't stealing your Medicaid, who aren't taking away your federal jobs, who aren't taking away your access to food stamps, who aren't gutting public education, who aren't taking away medical research. You were focused on the wrong fucking 1%. Because all of these cuts are coming. Why? Because Donald Trump needs to find a way to fund those tax breaks for that 1%. Because otherwise, he's going to do what he did last time, which is balloon the deficit another 7 to 9 trillion fucking dollars. Oh, well, here's a question. And you know what? I'm going to answer it, Gus. Why isn't the military budget being looked at for waste and fraud? Well, I'll tell you. Because Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos get contracts through the Pentagon, and they surely are not going to cut the hand that feeds them, even though, by the way, 53% of our budget, America's budget, is the fucking Pentagon. The things that they are cutting, slim in terms of the cost. So why won't they go after the Pentagon? Because that's where they get their fucking welfare from. It's just so disgusting. Like, honestly, when you really think about it, think about this. Elon Musk is worth $400 billion. And he is taking food and formula out of the mouths of American citizens that barely make $30,000 a year. The poorest among us is who Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going after in order to fund people who literally own private islands. People need this money to get formula for their fucking babies, to be able to pay for medication, life-saving medication. Elon Musk needs it in his race to become a fucking trillionaire. If that doesn't make people sick, if people don't understand who our common enemy is at this point, they're so busy having us fight amongst ourselves, boiling people over with their racist rhetoric, feeding in to America's original sin. But having these people believe that somehow they are better, right? These white folks are better than the best Black person, right? Than the Latino person, than the queer person. And so they align themselves with whiteness only to be left out in the fucking cold. Jobless, right? And without any social safety net. And now they want to show up at town halls. Now, all of a sudden, all of the alarm bells are going off. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't vote for Elon Musk. Well, you voted for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's daddy is Elon Musk. So you did vote for Elon Musk. But, the thing is, these people, again, they want to act shocked. And like, I'm a person of deep empathy, truly. It's both, my greatest strength and my greatest weakness. That I care about America and Americans so goddamn much. But the purposeful ignorance drives me insane. Because the information was there. But if you're only ingesting OAN and Fox News and whatever, and Joe Rogan, they're being paid to lie to you and making a handsome living doing it. So why these folks now turn around and act surprised and shocked, I really don't know. I really don't know. And so I struggle. I'm struggling to feel bad. Because you see, the thing is that as angry as I get, I don't want anyone to suffer. Not even the people who don't want people like me to exist. I really don't. I want everyone to have opportunity. I want everyone to be able to access the American dream or what was the American dream. I want people in this country not to just survive. I genuinely want every person to be able to thrive. And because I think that way, they tell me that I'm too woke. If being woke again, to Jane Fonda's what, if that means that I am empathetic and I care, then abso-fucking-lutely am I woke. It's why I wear this t-shirt. The future is woke because I believe that. Because I believe, folks, that for all of the pain and suffering that is already occurring and is going to get worse, I genuinely believe that there is a collective awakening that is happening right now. And unfortunately, too many people need to suffer in order for people to recognize that we all want the same things. And no one group should be able to deny people of their access to that thing because you don't like them, because they don't pray like you or look like you or love like you. Why is that such a hard concept? I don't know. But the people in this room at Donald Trump's first, imagine this, at Donald Trump's first cabinet meeting. First off, ain't nobody getting to ask questions that aren't rosy colored questions about anything that is happening right now. So again, folks, if you are looking to mainstream corporate media to inform you of what is going on, please don't. Please don't. Because all you're going to hear from now on, now that they are cherry picking, you see those microphones and those reporters, now that the White House gets to cherry pick and no longer the White House correspondents get to choose who is in the pool, you know that all you're going to hear is how amazing Donald Trump is and how wonderful his plans are and how everybody thinks so. But guess who showed up? Guess who showed up at this cabinet meeting? Not a cabinet member. No. Not a cabinet member. But this guy. And that's the fucking shirt that he was wearing. This is a meme presidency. They think they're funny as fuck. This is all a joke to them. This is how he shows up to a cabinet meeting. Also, why are you there? According to the White House, you don't run DOGE, which is just, so that they can sidestep all of the lawsuits that are coming at Elon Musk and DOGE. Oh, it's not him. It's somebody else. You're not a senior advisor. He didn't appoint you to a cabinet, but somehow, folks, the first person to speak was not Trump at his own cabinet meeting. The first one, the first person to speak was Elon Musk. Musk was the first person to speak at the meeting after Trump's introduction, donning a tech support t-shirt and black Make America Great Again cap. Musk defended the entity's controversial actions, saying the overall goal is to cut the deficit and warn if cuts aren't made, the country will become de facto bankrupt. I'm pretty sure it will become de facto bankrupt because you are a greedy son of a bitch and don't pay your taxes. I'm pretty sure that the country will become bankrupt because the billionaire class has all the money to have all the lawyers and all the accountants make sure that they do not have to pay their fair share. They skirt hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes that could go to fund roads and hospitals and schools. Also that they can sit on high on top of their piles of money like Scrooge. It's disgusting. But you know what? That is what America gets for having this obsession with wealth and celebrity and this lottery mentality that you're just one scratch off, one lottery ticket away from sitting on your own golden toilet. So here's what's discussed. 1 million workers on the bubble. Trump said federal employees who didn't respond to Musk's email are on a firing bubble. I'd like to add that those million people that haven't responded, though Elon, they are on the bubble. You know, I wouldn't say that we're thrilled about it. He went on to claim without evidence that maybe those employees don't exist. What? So now they see dead people? So now dead people are working at the federal government? Like, what delusion do they live under? First, it's all dead people are voting. Then it's just weekend at Bernie's in all of our government agencies. Like, what the fuck? Your own cabinet members who were sitting in that room told their employees not to respond to Elon Musk's threat via Twitter because they work on highly classified information, nor should be treated in a manner that has them list out the 5 things they did. I'd like to know what the fuck Elon Musk did this week, other than print out a stupid t-shirt and don a stupid hat, fill himself with ketamine, and roll up into the cabinet meeting. The meme presidency. This is where we are, y'all. This is where we are. It's shameful. Like it truly, like I say, I move between rage and deep grief every day. I'm up and then I'm down, and then I'm up and then I'm down again. Rage because I literally have spent the last 10 years writing, speaking, working, saying what would happen. And then I'm watching it play out day by day as if it is a script from the show Scandal that Shonda Rhimes wrote, except it's our real life. Grief because the American people don't deserve this. Because a majority of us are good, caring, loving human beings who care about their community, their neighbors, who go to work every day, busting their ass, trying, right, to capture some sliver of the American dream. Most of us, the majority of us are good. But that's not how these motherfuckers see us. We're the villains in their stories. Those public servants, those civil servants, they're the monsters in MAGA's imagination. Elon Musk said on the campaign trail, oh, they'll have to suffer a bit. There'll be some hardship, as he said about all of us, while he sits atop $400 billion that we, the people, have given him. As I close out today, to make matters even worse, this is a picture out of Ukraine. And right now, Donald Trump is shaking down President Zelensky once again. This time, not for information on Biden or Hunter like he did in that perfect phone call. Can you do me a favor, though? This time, the man whose country has been at war for the last 3 years because of Donald Trump's bestie, Putin, who is on a quest to rebuild the USSR and Ukraine and their mineral resources and their nuclear facilities, is his crown jewel. You can take down Ukraine, then the rest of Europe falls like dominoes. Donald Trump has now said, you give us some of your minerals and we'll give you some protection. Tell me how the fuck that isn't some mob shit. Right? Mob boss walks around the city, going to the dry cleaner, going to this place, saying, you pay us, right? Pay us out a quarter, 50% of your profits, and we'll make sure your business doesn't get robbed. We'll make sure your family stays safe. That's what Donald Trump is doing now with Ukraine. Trump's Ukraine mineral deal is seen as protection racket diplomacy. You want to talk about thugs? Donald Trump is a fucking thug. The United States wants to be paid in exchange for helping the country fend off an invader. An invader who Donald Trump has befriended and votes alongside. So here's my thing. Zelensky is in an impossible situation because the only way Ukraine survives is if we continue to provide aid. Donald Trump doesn't even pay his own fucking contractors. What assurance does Zelensky have that once he comes off of Ukraine's precious minerals, that he doesn't get sold out anyway? He has none. The fact that we, folks, and I said this yesterday, the fact that we are, look, I know I'm under no illusion about the things that this country has done around the world. I'm under no illusion. But the fact that now America is fucking shaking down a country at war is just, it's so sick. It's so fucking sick. Trump signaled the United States will not be providing much insecurity guarantees to Ukraine. a key factor for Ukrainian President Zelensky in any agreement to bring the conflict to a close. Well, I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. Also, what the fuck is this sentence? We're going to have Europe do that because it's in, we're talking about Europe is the next door neighbor, but we're going to make sure everything goes well. The disgust I have for Donald Trump is so deep. Is so deep. He is literally emblematic of everything that is gross about Americans. The gaudiness, the oversized ego, all of the things that people would say about the quote unquote ugly American, Donald Trump embodies and wears as a badge of honor. Stupid, arrogant, rich. Those three things equal danger. And that is our life now. That is why each and every goddamn day feels like 6,000. Because we are living in an idiocracy combined with an oligarchy, combined with autocracy. If we even have schools in the future, this shit will be studied. And the question that they will ask over and over again is how? How did the people let this happen? How did tens of millions of people vote in favor of this man? How did those that had the ability and the power to vote decide to stay home? How? And I say this all the time because it was the question that I remember asking in middle school, learning about the Holocaust, that my teacher had no answer for, where I said, how? How does a country allow millions of its own people to be slaughtered? Like, did they not know? Did they not ask questions when their neighbors disappeared? Did they not care? And my teacher had no answer. Just like I genuinely don't have one answer, I have so many answers. That 40% of America only gives a damn about themselves and believed a fucking con man when he told them that he was going to make America great again, which they heard as make America white again. That they believed that their own struggling was linked to opportunities that had historically been denied to Black people, people of color, women, queer people, that was why they were no longer getting ahead. That it had nothing to do with the fact that you were told so many decades ago that you didn't need to have a higher education. That, oh, a high school degree, that'll do you. And you'll be able to buy a home. You'll be able to retire with a pension. This is what the boomer generation was fucking told and believed. And then as the world began to change around them, they continued to be lied to. But everybody else who had always had to jump hurdles and swim moats and battle alligators just to get to the starting line that they were on, zoomed past them because they always needed to have more. Because they knew that by virtue of just being Black or being a woman or living at the intersection of any identities, that they were always going to have to prove themselves. So they got more degrees, they got more education, and guess what? They fucking got ahead. But as Lyndon B. Johnson said, right? If you can teach the poorest white man that he is better than the best Black man, you can pick his pockets. And that's what Elon Musk and Donald Trump have been doing and will continue to do. So they can hold up their signs of disagree. Their anger is just going to grow. But I don't know if anybody's listening. That is it for me today, dear friends, on the Danielle Moodie Show. Please do, friends, if you are liking this channel, if you are liking these episodes, please do like, comment, and subscribe. I am also new to Substack. I have put out a new Substack. I've been on there now, like 2 weeks, and I'm really enjoying the platform. So you will get other content over there as well. So if you have not subscribed to the Damn Digest, you should. And also, many people have asked, Danielle, what happens if they come for YouTube and the way that they have come for TikTok, and then TikTok was back, and how do we all stay connected? Substack is a really great way because by signing up, I actually do get your email addresses. And so if in fact anything happens, right, on any of these platforms, which we don't own, we can start anew. So do consider heading over there as well. Jules, Danielle, are you doing 2 streams on Wednesdays? No, I am not. I do the Danielle Moodie Show at 5 p.m. And then I also put out a Woke Wednesday video. So that video is up now that you can watch. But no, I'm not doing 2 streams. I mean, at some point, friends, at some point, I need to sleep and take care of myself so that I don't have a breakdown. But appreciate you all so very much. I love this community. I love Damnation. You all are fantastic, and I can't thank you all enough for the ways that you have been showing up and supporting and sharing and posting. And to all of you who are able to provide donations, just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are all extraordinary. As always, power to the people, and to all the people power. Get woke, stay sane. And in these extraordinarily dangerous times, dear friends, do stay safe. I will see you back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, for our call to action show, where I offer suggestions on what we can be doing so that we don't feel powerless. See you then. Be well.